welcome everyone to this Agent Intelligent episode. We're exploring the future of AI agents in Web3. We're exploring very awesome kind of AI agent builders. We're also like speaking about really thought leadership around agents and social coordination in general. I'm Francesco. I'm contributing to MotherDAO. I'm leading developer relation at Consensys. And today we're diving deep into the technology and the vision behind Sand AI. I hope I pronounced it correctly. And I
Yeah,
want to welcome you, Arjan. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's an honor to have you on the stream. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
sure. So, hey guys, myself Aryan. I lead a tech stuff at Hasendai. So at Hasendai, we actually did the Solana AI hackathon back in December. That gained a lot of attraction, and we also have our own Solana agent kit that basically helps you to connect any LLM to anything on Solana. On the educate side, we are doing well, and yeah, like that's a bit gist of
Nice,
about me and
nice.
Sendai. Yeah,
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, the fact that you guys build this in an hackathon is actually quite impressive. And also, like, I think you are one of the first agent builders that I'm interviewing actually that build and deploy an agent on the Solana ecosystem. So it's actually very cool. I'm definitely like excited to see, how kind of like agents in Solana are kind of like are developing and how is the ecosystem flourishing. But let's start actually from really a scratch kind of like question. What problems were you initially trying to solve with said AI in particular?
okay, so um, just to be clear, that the Solana AI hackathon was actually organized by us,
Nice.
and we're not part of it. So,
Okay, okay,
uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, on the Sunday front, like when we started, then at that time the AI trend was actually just getting started in the whole ecosystem. AI's 16Z was still at like 100 mil or so, and at that time, we were just thinking on how can we think about what's next for Send as a brand. And at that time, we were actually working on our own personal problem that was a alpha bot. So actually, you can add that bot onto your group chats, and it would automatically buy her tokens for you. So that was like the initial plan behind all uh, behind Sunday at the start. But sooner we actually realized that it does not make a lot of sense at that time, because we want these bots to be fast, and the thing about LLMs is like they are actually slow. So if you have something and you feed that particular thing to an LLM, then LLM would take 5 to 10 seconds to actually process it, and then after it processes it, then it will uh, call the tool to actually do the actual trade. So in this whole time, the coin or the alpha call that you have, that will that can probably go from like 10 mil to 100 mil. So that did not make sense. Then uh, after that, we actually started working on the Solana agent kit that we have. I guess you have already shared the link in the channel. So the thing about Solana agent kit is that I'll just share the screen for that. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're sharing
So
less. Awesome. By the way, I really like when people are sharing their screen and showing us things because I wanted to ask you a demo. So I think this is on point.
nice. So on the agent kit side, our whole purpose is for you to have any LLM connected to any protocol on Solana. We are live on TypeScript and Python itself here, and not to flaunt, but we are the most popular agent framework in whole ecosystem right now. We are like 98K downloads on npm, 1200 stars and all, and it actually takes just 5 to 10 lines of code to actually just make an agent with a kit. So if you can just go to a doc. Wait a second, that doc screen is not getting shared. I'll just reshare my screen once again. Yeah,
Yes, yes. Can see it.
yeah. So if you just go to our docs, we have this guide, and in this guide, it will just take like this line of code to actually start your own agent that will be interactive on Solana. We have more than like 100 actions that are live. We have protocol like Metaplex, Pump, Radium, Orca. Like, you name a thing on Solana, and we already have that. So that thing is around Agent Kit and what it actually helps you to build.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So you have basically like different sections. Do you want to run us a little bit through the? I mean, you kind of showed already the demo, but what other kind of like agent builders can do with this kind of like Send AI kind of like agent kit? Because I'm checking right now, for example, the GitHub repo. So you have also like different tutorials, right?
Yeah. Uh, I would just walk through an example,
Yes,
and that should make it more clear. Yeah.
that would be
So
awesome.
in a repo, if you just go to the examples folder, so here we have a lot of examples that you can refer to. So one of the example is hosting your own chat GPT like front end. So if you just go to the agent kit next just example, so with help of this thing you can actually host your own ChatGPT front end. We also made another thing that is a create Solana agent. So this thing was basically I don't have a deployed link for this, but yeah. So a result of this, you can basically create your own agent front end like ChatGPT, like Claude, and and that would have access to all the tools. Uh, Another cool thing that we have inbuilt in our agent kit is the support for MCP. So if you just go to the examples where
Mhm.
here we have a MCP, yeah, agent kit MCP server, and here for you in just like 20 lines of code you can start your own MCP server that has access to all the tools on Solana.
Oh, nice.
uh, our MCP server is the only official MCP server in Claude's repo, a DeepSeek's repo. It's supported as well in client marketplace. So
Yes.
that is another thing that you can experiment with. Uh, and yeah, uh,
Nice, nice. And what's normally like what you see around the Azure builders right now on Solana? Like, are people looking for those kits, or they're kind of building this from scratch? What is your kind of like experience around that, or kind of like feedback seeing other Azure builders?
so right until right now, I would say like till the month of March and March mid also, the people were still building the chat GPT, like agents on Twitter, Discord. Like if I or you just post something out, then it would directly you will have 10 to 12 replies below your post, and those replies will just be of bots, and those bots are basically acting like an NPC. uh, and uh, and the next thing that we are actually seeing is people are trying to build bots to trade with the help of LLMs. And as I first told, like LLMs are actually bad at one thing, that is they actually take a lot of time to process your context. So if you have something that you want the LM to do, then it will take approximately like 12 to it can take a lot of time to actually do your query. And right now the only issue that I see common across all the builders is like they can't get LLM to do what they actually want, because it, it's actually difficult to feed LLM the actual context that you want to do. So
Yes.
if we also see this common in all the people who are trying to use the agent kit, that if let's suppose I want to uh, add to LP on Oracle, for an example, then then there are a high chances that the LLM will actually hallucinate a lot in this case, because first of all, it does not have a lot of context on what is Orca. Second, it does not have a lot of context
Mm-hmm.
on how Orca works. And third, the function that we have actually made is good, but it still requires a lot of prompt engineering to get the prompt right, so that it is able to provide parameters to the tools correctly.
Okay, okay. So it makes sense. Yes, 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 yes. No, I think that's super. Yeah, that's very valuable here. And one other question that I had, especially because you guys are running this kind of like Solana kit, is do you see specific kind of like common mistake that kind of like builders should avoid when building an agent? Like what kind of like your like overview on this?
Uh, One thing would be that, like, the people want to make an agent that would do all the things, so that we want agents to do everything they possibly want. And what thing like we have actually learned the hard way is like you should make agent for each specific use case. So so let's say in the example of adding LP to an Orca pool, rather than having a agent to do all the stuff like adding the LPs, swapping it for you, and transferring the token, you can have a small agent that can use a SLM or something to just focus on that specific part. So we have internally observed that that particular thing behaves a lot better and hallucinates a lot less than a overview like or a broad agent in general. And regarding the part of a model, like which model to actually use for this LLM, we have again noticed that Claude actually behaves a lot better than ChatGPT, Gemini, or open source models like DeepSeek or Llama.
Nice, nice. Yeah, definitely. I think the space is moving so fast that it's difficult to track, like also the progress around the LLM. I even saw Llama, what was that Llama 3, 3.0,
Four,
4.0 just came
yeah,
out
yeah.
also this week. Yeah, 4 is actually quite impressive. Um, okay, speaking back on the kind of like the kit that you guys built, right? What were like the best or like the biggest kind of like technical challenges that you faced with the team?
Okay. I've kind of already covered those, but uh, a technical challenge that we faced much was providing the right prompt, as I covered earlier,
Mm,
because that prompt is important. And if for every tool the prompt is not accurate, or is not fine tuned according to that specific tool, then that will hallucinate a lot. Like if you want to add an LP, and if the prompt is not right, in the prompt you actually have to mention like what is LP, how it works, the parameters required, the type of parameters there, and also
yes,
the range for each parameter. So if you're not writing the prompt properly, then the tools hallucinate a lot. So right now we have uh, a person from um, a foundation actually helping us through this. So he's writing all the evals and the benchmark for this. So with the help of him, we have improved the performance of the Solana agent kit by like
yes,
28% or so, and we are still working to improve improve on it. Yeah, and
nice, nice.
adding to that, right now what we have faced is an issue that is from the OpenAI side. So the OpenAI API only supports tools up to like 128 tools, And right now our agent kit has like more than 128 tools. So our agent kit does not works with OpenAI well, because our tools are more than what OpenAI can actually support. So that's another thing.
Nice. Yeah, I think those are good lesson learned. And I want to ask you also, like, is there any kind of like surprise that kind of like you said, oh, this is super interesting, or kind of surprised you during the development of Send AI, like the framework specifically?
During the development, like the interesting part that we are still amazed at is the autonomous mode. So we actually have something like autonomous mode in the agent kit itself. So if you just run that mode once, then the agent actually talks to itself and and performs the action. So at one time during the testing, the agent actually automatically created a collection on Solana. He minted an NFT. He listed that NFT on Tensor, and it was actually continuously checking the balance if that particular NFT is sold or not, to just check like if he was able to actually sell that NFT or not. So the autonomous mode is a quite like amazing to look at. So if you guys have time, just run it. You guys would also be like surprised.
Nice, nice. That's very cool to know. Okay, sounds good. And any specific like use case that you see builders, you wish that builders would start to do with the Send AI kind of like Solana kit? Um, like, any preference, any kind of wish list around specific verticals? Do you see some more kind of interest from builders in the Solana ecosystem, or how is
Yeah,
it?
sure. So another interesting fact that we have actually noticed is like people use the Solana agent kit more as a Solana on-chain kit. Uh, and this is because we have like all those protocols on Solana already integrated into us. So people just download the agent kit, they actually use directly the tools instead of using the AI part for it. So and we are actually totally fine with it. Regarding the RFP/RFQ, so we internally have a term that is RFS, like request for agents, um, and I, we also have an idea bank that people can actually refer to and build ideas on top of our agent kit. I'll just share the for that. Yeah. So yeah. Cool.
Yes, I can see it now. Oh, nice. This is actually good. Ideas to build. Can you maybe zoom it a little
Sure.
bit? That I think it's a big screen. Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, so we have all these ideas that are contributed by a lot of people, and you can just filter by DeFi, agent infra, or social agent. And if you're building something like this, like autonomous trading agent, you can just view details and a brief overview of what we actually want. So, like these ideas are a bit mm, a lot. So you can actually choose any one of the ideas, integrate into the agent kit, and we'll definitely support you.
Nice. And the question is there like some prioritization ranking, or how does it work? This kind of like a main table? It's just general kind of wish list use case,
Yeah,
right?
these are all
Nice.
general use case, and of course in these like there are some ideas that are of like high value. So if you can just figure out what are those ideas that can potentially use agents a lot, plus can also potentially generate a lot of revenue, then that can be great. Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And question: when people, do you see already people that kind of build against those kind of wish lists, like or what are the main example that you saw people actually building with these AI kits?
Sure. So on the ideas list that we have, so a lot of people actually use the ideas list in the hackathon that we conducted. So that is a list of like approx 30 plus ideas. So out of the 30 plus ideas, people actually build around 10 ideas. So those 10 ideas was just around social agents. So people actually like that topic a lot and they actually built around that. And there are still ideas in the DeFi track and uh, also the autonomous track that people can actually explore and build upon.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's super valuable. And I think I just send also like the ideas .send AI fun in the main chat. I think like Aryan, we're almost out of time here. I think it's super interesting. I think people should definitely test it out. Um, I think there are different. I definitely want to deep dive a little bit more into kind of like frameworks and tooling. But in general, like are there kind of like any extra kind of infrastructural gaps that need to be filled around kind of like agent kits, or what do you think about that, or you guys, or at least like in the Solana ecosystem, like this is kind of like brought up like more on a general way, or do you feel there are still some infrastructural gaps that we need to fill?
On that end, I would definitely like to experiment around something a fine tune model.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
as I told earlier that the models don't have context around different things that are uh, in Web3. So if anyone can like fine tune a model that has information of all the things on Solana, Base, Ethereum, like up to then, but uh, if model already has context of what is Orca, what is Radium, what is Jupiter, and also about those SDKs, then it would actually hallucinate a lot less. So if like someone can experiment on that, and we can definitely help in some way. And if someone is also looking to contribute to the agent kit, we have a lot of issues that are already live on our GitHub. So you can actually go to our GitHub and you can see all the issues that are created and you can just contribute to it. And yeah, that's it. We right now have like 11 issues created, uh, and you can like just uh, contribute to any of it. And another thing, we also have a Solana agent kit airdrop list. So if you are a contributor and if your PR gets merged, then we actually maintain a list of you. And if some partner wants to airdrop to send it, then we actually ask them to airdrop to the agent kit contributors. So yeah, that's another thing. I guess your voice is not coming.
Oh no, sounds good. Yes, I was muted. There you are. Thanks so much for actually like letting me know. I think like I'm good. Maybe one last question in terms of like, because I really asking this question around for Frame more specific. Like, do you think it's too early, or it's fine that we're speaking about kind of social like social agents, kind of like agent to agent coordination? Like, do we need to think about this already? I think this is probably like something important, but I want to hear your thought.
On the agent to agent coordination, I don't think like we need a separate thing to be built for that. We have protocol
Yes.
like XMTP that agents can actually use to just interact with each other. And there are some actually uh, protocols, a lot protocols with which have a lot of TVL that are also working on the same problems. I can't actually tell the name right now because like they asked me to not disclose. But agent to agent is, I can say, like a still bit early because we don't have a lot of agents to actually interact with. Once we have a
Mhm.
lot of agents to interact with, then it would make a lot of sense to have something to enable interaction between those agents itself.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And I think also one topic that we're always discussing is specific like frameworks or kind of like specs for those agents. I think it's something that we should definitely like think about. Okay, sounds good. I mean, I think one last question specific on Send AI. So, what you guys are cooking? What is coming up next in your kind of like roadmap slash kind of how this framework is evolving? Around kind of like the Solana ecosystem. What are your thoughts that you can share publicly here?
Sure. So around the whole thing about all the things that we have built in now are completely open source in nature. So everything that we have done till date is open source. Our agent kit, our create Solana agent, our MCP server are completely open source. And what we're trying to do with all of this is actually create a base layer for our next thing that we are working on internally. So once we have a good open source base layer, so that base layer is actually easy to maintain and stay up to date. And because we can't actually generate any revenue from all the open source things that we have, we'll actually build a platform on top of it that we are working on internally.
Okay, nice, nice. So you're basically like extending functionality. Um, do you see also a way to how would you say like welcome also like Web2 developers from other kind of like environments like coming from Python, Rust. Like I think that's probably like also one thing that as a framework you want to make sure you're also like pushing forward, right?
Yeah, so one thing we actually noticed, like we started with TypeScript because all the protocols in Solana have a TypeScript SDK.
Hmm.
But we also have support for Python. So we have another thing called as Agentify, who actually
Yeah.
maintains the Python version for us. So it's like that. And on the part of Rust, like we have plans for Rust, but right now we are actually not seeing much demand from developers to actually have Rust agent kit support also.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Super interesting. So thank you so much, Aryan, and thanks so much also for everybody's listening. I think this is also like a quick kind of like dive around Send AI. We share the ideas. Now it's kind of like the time for any builders out there to actually like speak about it. Also, like if you have kind of like specific issues, so make sure you also like open PRs specifically in the GitHub repo. And specific to Mother, we have also like a new Discord where you can actually like not just pitch your AI agent, but also like discuss specific architecture and technical architecture decision, where kind of like happening a lot of like office hours and stuff. So make sure that you also reach out in that capability because we need more agents builder. We definitely need more. Kind of like discussion in this ecosystem because the space is getting so fast on the ground, and I think like the infra around this is super and inevitable important. Awesome. Thanks so much, Arjun. Thanks so much for everybody's hearing us, and hopefully, like we see each other to the next IRL events. Thanks,
Sure.
everyone. Cheers. Bye
Thanks for
bye.
having me. Ciao.
Bye bye.